Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces, and today I am with the lovely Mamta, who is the CEO of M&M Beauty and Aesthetics. Mamta, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with me on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for inviting, Holly. It's a really big pleasure.
Oh, no worries at all. I'm really pleased to have you. So, just to kick things off, let's talk about how you got into the industry then. So, where did it all start for you, and how have you got your business to where it is today?
So mine is a very weird story, to be honest. I was never into beauty. I used to be a tomboy, to be honest.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even, I don't even come from the UK. I'm actually an Indian and
Yeah,
I've migrated. So I came here as a student and I did my MSc in finance. So I've always been a very good student.
yeah.
I always thought I'm going to be a chartered accountant because
Oh,
that's what I studied.
yeah,
So I did that. I finished my degree and then I was looking for like part-time jobs. And that's when I realized that how how expensive beauty is in the UK, because back
yeah.
in home it's very affordable, to be honest.
Okay. So when you say beauty, do you mean like yeah,
Like
eyelashes,
everything, like
extensions, nails?
eyelashes, your threading,
Yeah.
anything like facials and stuff is very, very affordable. So I can say it's like 10 times cheaper.
Serious?
And
I need to get myself to
yeah,
India then.
I know that's true, to be honest. It's more, like, to be honest, it's getting um, more and more important now. But I think 13 years ago when I moved here, and I was little as well. I was still 20. So for
Yeah,
me, it was, I still used to pay, and I was, of course, my parents were paying for it, so it was okay. But then when I
okay.
came here, I was earning my own money, and then like 10 times the prices, I was like, oh my god, I need to do something.
Yeah,
So that's when I started like learning, like self-taught. And then I finally found a job in beauty. So I used to do all the threading, lashes, and everything. I did a course for lashes, but threading I kind of learned, and
yeah,
then I almost like discovered it at work, like slowly, just picking up techniques. And then I realized like it's a big industry in the UK, and it's like a very budding industry, because when I moved to the UK there was not many people who were doing threading. And I thought, why not make it into a business, because
yeah,
it's giving you a steady stream of income and it's a big thing in the UK.
yeah.
So that's what came about. Okay, let's just start to do something with it. So 13 years ago I've opened my first brow bar, which was in Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
So I did that for almost about a year or so. But my now husband, then boyfriend, found a job in Glasgow, which was like a very good job, like really well paid and stuff.
Yeah,
So we decided we're gonna move to Glasgow. I was going back and forth, like I would go, like I had a staff and I was going back and forth, but it's just like, see, if you don't put your heart into the business, it's not gonna
yeah,
work.
yeah, of
I
course.
understood that. So then it just didn't work. And then I had to close that. I came to Glasgow and I started a job, and I learned a lot more. Then I started learning like other stuff like lamination,
Yeah,
semi-permanent makeup and things like that. So I learned and built up a nice CV before I could jump into something else.
yeah.
So 10 years ago now, I opened M&M. So this shop has been here in the Greenock for about 10 years now. So I'm
Wow.
quite proud of that, to be honest. So that's when we started in 2013. That's when we started the M&M Beauty Studio, and it's been 10 years. And what we have done is just added on new treatments.
Oh,
So
amazing. So it's
yeah.
been quite a natural progression from
Yeah,
threading
very
to now
natural,
you're
very natural.
aesthetics.
Yeah. And I never even thought that I'm going to be in this industry, because, as I said, I don't even belong to this industry. I used to be a tomboy. I didn't do makeup till I was what, 22 or something.
Oh my
I
gosh.
never did a lipstick or anything, never, nothing at all.
But do you know what? You saw an opportunity. You were like, look, like I can be obviously having come from a finance background, you're thinking,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
can
that
make a
really
lot of
helped.
money here.
Yeah,
So what did
exactly.
your family say when you were like,
Oh
guys, like
God.
I don't want to
Uh,
be a chartered accountant?
Not really good. If you know anything about Indian families, that's the last thing you would want to be doing. Beauty, I wouldn't say it's looked down upon, but it's not a job you would do back in India. If you come from like a very good background, if you
Okay.
have studied finance, beauty is somebody who would do, maybe they haven't got the best of education, or they
Yeah.
don't come from like good families. That's the people who would be doing beauty, because it's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
very, as I said, like, it's really affordable, so you don't really make that much of money in beauty in
Yeah. Yeah.
India. So it's almost like something I wouldn't do coming from like where I come from.
Yeah.
So
So
when I
they're
told my dad,
thinking,
he was
what the
just like,
hell? Like, what's she
"Oh
doing?
gosh, I know." Honestly, sometimes even now, sometimes my my father would say, like, if he's meeting somebody influential, he'll say, "Oh, my daughter works in a bank." I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So it's just
but
funny because it's just Indian parents. Like, you can't really do
yeah,
anything
and
about it.
obviously, the industry is so different over here, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing.
And yeah,
It's much better now, to be honest. If you see like makeup artists, they are making like really good money. They are like literally doing so well for themselves. Semi-permanent artists, I think it's a budding industry, is getting much better and better. And then I think they value you more now. But
yeah,
whereas 13 years ago it was not the case. And I think I still come from a very conservative Indian family, so for them it was just, even then, even now, sometimes they're like, why don't you go back to studying, finish your chartered accountancy? I'm like, I'm
yeah.
doing okay. I'm fine.
No thanks. I've been doing this 10 years. I know what I'm doing. Oh
I
no,
know.
that's a lovely story in terms of sort of how it just happened for you and it was so
Yeah.
unexpected. So when did you start to introduce aesthetics to your business then and what was the reason
So
for that?
aesthetics was about 2.5 years ago now, 2.5, close to 3 years ago now. So it was just off chance, to be honest, because I didn't even know, I being a non-medic, I didn't even know that I could actually get into this industry, because I think now it's such a big hype. Like, everybody's doing like classes, everybody's advertising for it. But I think then, so I had learned no needle lip filler from one of the girls. She teaches in Southampton.
Okay.
She's got a academy, and I had learned that, but I wasn't very convinced with the technique, because I did few clients and I was like, nah, this is not working properly. Like, I don't like the results. I don't like, it's not lasting. So I just left it and I just like didn't bother with it. This is about, I would say, about 4 years ago. But she was still on my contact list. So one day she sends me this brochure where she says that, oh, I'm conducting classes in Southampton, and it's derma fillers, botox and stuff. And I was like, okay. And I thought it's for, of course, for nurses, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, just out of curiosity, I was like, what do you need? Like, what do you need for joining these classes? Like, what do you need to be? Because I had really wanted to go towards that, but I thought, I'm not sure if you're wanting to do like a 4 years nursing course
Yeah.
for this.
But your family would have liked that though, wouldn't
Oh
they?
yeah,
They'd be
yeah,
like, yes, go
very
go
happy.
be a nurse.
Doing medicine, like medicine is their dream. It's Indian parents, that's their dream. Then they want their children to be either like doctors or engineers. That's what they want, or chartered accountant, or something to do with finance. That's all they want.
Yeah.
So then when I messaged her, she goes like, you don't need anything as long as you have a micro needling or any needle experience, you are okay. And then you need to wait for another year before you actually get into this. And I was like, okay, that sounds really exciting. So I went to her, I did a microneedling course, and I came back. Then after a year I went back and I did my derma fillers and botox and everything. So that's when I came to know that I can actually do it.
Yeah.
But now it's such a big debate that, should non-medics be allowed or not allowed, and things like that. But
Yeah. So
this is how I
just
started.
sort of going into that side of things then, because I know obviously we're going to talk about regulation anyway.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what's been announced by the government? Obviously, nothing has been set in stone. We don't know, but they have released the traffic light system, and they are gathering information and feedback from everybody, so from the general public. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel about that, and how do you think this could potentially affect your business?
um I'm quite happy with the regulations, to be honest, because I think it was needed. It's such a huge industry, but it's so unregulated. And I'm practicing, I hear so many horror stories and I feel so bad for my clients, because for example, they've had like one random practitioner whose number was on Google, and they just reached out to them. The girl came home, did a procedure, didn't know what she was doing, and then vanishes, because all it needs is like a phone number or a Instagram account,
Yeah,
and you can do that after 2 minutes. Like, they've made the money what they wanted to, and then they've just vanished, leaving them with
yeah,
like horrible faces. And then these clients have to, now it's hard for them to trust somebody else.
yeah,
And then of course now they have to spend even more money to fix that procedure.
yeah,
I think it's not fair, because people, I think I have taken enough time, and my energy, I've researched enough before I've actually started to even touch a client. I
Yeah.
have made my premises like it's a area of sanitization, like everything, we have everything that's needed. And then it's very hard for me to now gain that client's trust, because
Yeah.
that's what happened to them.
Yeah.
So I think if the industry was regulated, we would be avoiding that, which is very important. I think as a client, like for myself as well, I would want to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. um I don't want to catch infections because somebody just tells me, oh, come to this, and then you just reach a room where there's literally nothing.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, but I don't want that government should stop us from practicing, because I think it'll be unfair. We have spent so much of money in training. We have spent so much of our energy in getting to know about these procedures, like learning from different things, spend so much of time and effort.
Yeah.
And I think if they just straight up say, oh, you're not allowed to practice anymore, I think it's very unfair on us.
Yeah, you've been doing this for 10 years now,
Yeah.
like obviously
Yeah.
not all aesthetic treatments,
Not
but
not all
you've
aesthetics.
built
Yeah.
your business for 10 years. So for
Yeah.
someone to take that away, like
Yeah.
is really, you
I
know,
think it'll be very unfair. And I don't reckon, as I said, like I read about it and it says that it's going to be a traffic system, which I understand, because there's so many procedures that maybe we shouldn't be allowed to do,
yeah, yeah,
because I think is doctor should be doing what doctor should be doing. But I think there are like basic procedures we should be allowed to do them, because they are actually not that hard. I have been doing this for a very long time now, and I know if I put my heart and soul into it, I know I can do a good job.
yeah,
Sometimes I think, like for example, I am a beauty therapist, especially lips. I think I'm very good in lips, but sometimes you could go to a doctor and they would give you a rubbish shape, because
yeah,
for them it's not, they're not that passionate about it as we
yeah,
are,
yeah. It's
because for
not,
them
I
it's
think,
doing.
yeah, I think like you've said, you know, I find that, beauty therapists, you guys have like an eye for detail. It's an
Yes,
artistry, it's the
exactly.
creativity. Of course, putting your patient first and looking after them and ensuring they're safe is the most important thing.
Yeah.
However, it's a skill. It really, really is.
Yeah.
And I think that takes, like you say, passion, but also experience. And
Yeah.
it has to come from somewhere. Not everybody is good at like drawing, for example.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
just because you've been to work in a hospital doesn't mean that you're going to be an amazing artist. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's my point as well. Because as I said, I've seen like horrible jobs from doctors. I'm not saying they know what they're doing, but they're not artistic enough to give the clients what they're actually wanting,
yeah,
especially to do something like, for example, like a lip or like a jawline. Because as I said, for them, it's a secondary job for them.
yeah, yeah,
So they're like, okay, and I've been told so many times, when they go to like big doctors or nurses and stuff, they're out in like what, 10 minutes, because they're just basically doing it for the sake of doing it. But as
yeah,
beauty therapists, as you said, we have eye for detail. It's very important for us that our clients leave happy. So
yeah.
we take our time, we make sure that they're happy with their treatment.
Yeah, I think obviously there are so many amazing medical practitioners out there,
Oh
but
yeah,
but,
yeah,
but
of course,
also so many amazing non-medical practitioners. But
exactly.
I think it's more, you know, just ensuring that your client is getting not only the treatments done safely, but also the client care and just really understanding what your client is looking for. And I do agree with a lot of the things that you've just said 100%, because I think it's too black and white to say medics can do it, medics can do it, non-medics can't do it. Can you hear me, by the
Yeah.
way? Lily?
Yeah, yeah, now it's fine. I think it just went
Yeah,
blank for some
it's too
reason.
black and white. What we should be looking at is good and bad practice.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
I
one of
think just
them.
making it licensed, the premises needs to be like a certain level, a
Yeah,
certain standard, like it's in SMPU is the same.
yeah,
So you have to have like a sink, you have to have a sanitizing station, you have to have sanitizers, you have to have everything that's needed, because and then you need to contain infection, you have to have the sharps, but all that is very hard. Imagine coming to your house, how many things I'm going to carry with
Oh
myself?
my gosh, like anyone who does mobile, my personal opinion is I don't think that should be happening. You know,
Yes, that's very
you're
important.
going to somebody's house with the intent to do a medical procedure, so, injecting.
Yeah.
They might have 10 cats and dogs running around, they've got their kids
Yeah,
running around, food on the floor. You can't guarantee that that's gonna be a
yeah.
sanitary environment.
Exactly, not
But
possible. And then nowadays, the thing is, it's advertised on Google, it's advertised on Instagram, but sometimes they don't even show you where you're gonna go, because you're gonna just
yeah.
end up in Google Maps and you might end up in somebody's house. You
Yeah,
don't know.
that's it. And I think for clients these days, so obviously I've had various procedures done, but if I was a client who had never had anything done, was trying to find a practitioner, going back to what you said about trust, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like
Yeah,
I'd be
because there's
thinking,
so many.
well, this person looks like they do really good work on Instagram, but are the pictures
Yeah,
edited? Is it like a real account? You
yeah,
know, it's just there's so many things to consider. So I think, like you said, regulation will just basically set a standard which is expected. And that means clients are going to be more relaxed. They're going to know that
yeah,
what they're getting done is being done correctly or should be, and if it
yeah.
isn't, there's going to be consequences surrounding that, because I think at the moment there's no consequences, which is why
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah,
really
exactly. There's no authority these clients can go to and complain, because there's no set standards of practice, and there's nothing
yeah,
these clients can do now. And also, I think, like, in terms of products and stuff, so we are now dealing with, I get clients and they're like, oh, I want this done, but on Instagram it says it's going to be done in 200 pounds. So this is what we're dealing with, because maybe somebody who doesn't have a premises, don't have any overheads, don't have any insurance to pay, don't have any bills to pay, all
yeah,
that, because I am running a premises and I have so many overheads, I have a staff working for me, so I can't really afford to do, like, all that for 200, just because I have
yeah.
so many
But
overheads.
also you've learned a skill and you're providing a service, so
Yeah,
that also comes to it.
yeah,
If you are doing things correctly, you're running your business like you say, you're putting a lot of time, money, effort into training to
yeah.
to make that to perfect your skills, you should
Mhm.
be charging a higher amount because
Yeah.
it's a serious
But it's just so
procedure.
hard to deal with these clients, because, as I said, like, I think once they've had the treatments done and they understand why we are charging what we are charging, it's okay. But then I think, just to start off, it's very hard for them, for us to convince them that there is something premium we are providing. They don't
Yeah,
understand how many fillers are there in the market. And
yeah,
some of them are like, they're sold on Facebook. They're like, what, 10 pounds a pack or something? How can you trust a filler like that that's costing you 10 pounds? What is in that filler? 10 pounds is
yeah,
nothing. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So we are using good products, we're using premium products, we are trying to do our best. We're providing you with a good standard, we're providing you with a sanitized space, but then people don't understand all that. But because they are brainwashed, because
yeah,
they go on Instagram and that's all they see great pictures and advertise for like 200 pounds, so they think, oh, why can't she do it for the same price,
yeah.
because the Instagram looks good, but they don't know what they're going to go to.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I completely agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah,
But the thing is, you clearly have built an amazing business. Your clients know and trust you. And I think it's only a matter of time before, you know, all of these things that you're doing and the way that you're running your business will come in your favor, because it's going to be, when regulation does come in, it'll be those who are not doing things correctly who will drop off, I think,
yeah,
anyway.
most probably. Because, to be honest, I think if they have just something that's going to make sure that the premises is looking good, is a certain standard, you're practicing in a certain standard. I think if they need all that from us, I'm definitely more than happy to provide that. I'm already working towards it, to be honest. But if they just say that you're a non-medic, you can't practice, so I think that would be very unfair.
Yeah, and I don't think that will happen, but
Yeah,
shall see. We'll have to see, and we can resume this conversation when the regulations come in and see
I
where we
know,
are.
I know exactly,
So, just
exactly.
on more of a positive note, then, with regards to your clients, and obviously you've built up such an amazing client base, throughout the years. What treatments are you finding are really popular at the moment with your clients?
So if I say about basic beauty, we do eyebrows and tint are the most basic treatments, and we do that the most. We do a lot of walk-ins for that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like HD brows. We do transformation brows.
Mhm.
We also do henna brows. So that's like our most popular ones. Then I would say the semi-permanent lashes are becoming such a big thing now. I think I would say maybe a year or so ago, we did get people, but people were not willing to spend 50, 60 pounds on a set of lashes. But I think it's such a big deal now. So
Yeah.
lashes are our next favorite treatment, I would say. And I think after that, I think aesthetics. We are very busy in aesthetics, especially the lips
Yeah.
and people.
Amazing. And have you got any other training coming up? So is there anything that you're going to
So
be
I've
training in?
recently done my fat loss, so that's quite popular, to be
Oh,
honest.
yes,
Just
very popular.
I've done fat loss. I think I'm going to be doing, but that's the thing. I'm not sure if I should be doing, because I was trying to do the IV drip, but I had read in the articles that they might not allow us to practice that. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying. That's why I'm like two-minded. Should I go forward with other treatments, or should I just hold off? Because I have done all the basic ones. So I do like all the skin boosters, I do the B12, all that. I do all that, but just I think I don't know if I should go any further, because I was hoping to go for threads and stuff as well, but I
Yeah.
don't know if we're going to be allowed. So
Yeah. I think
I'm going
my
to hold off.
advice would be hold off for a little
Yeah,
bit until, because you don't want to invest the money in training and then
yeah, it's quite expensive. It's not
um
cheap. So
exactly. And I think just focus on what you're good at and what your clients
yeah,
love. And I think,
yeah.
going to, if you're wanting to do other training, master classes are a great way to really
Yeah.
perfect your
That's
skills.
actually my next step. I'm actually working towards a training academy as well. So just
Amazing.
so beauty and aesthetics both. So
Yeah.
I'm going through my teacher's training. So I'm hoping it's just so hard to find time. I've got a 3-year old and I've got a business to run, house to run, so all that. So it's really hard, but I'm trying my best to finish off my teacher's training, and then most probably I think my next step should be academy. I'm actually refurbing my shop
Amazing.
for the same as well.
Absolutely love that. And here at Faces, we support all of our training academies as well. So definitely let me know when you're
Yeah,
up
of
and
course I'll.
running or working towards it, and I can help you with that for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So
of course.
exciting. And it's good to have these big goals, what's next for the business, where can we go
Yeah,
next,
yeah.
which is really important. So no, that's amazing.
If we don't do that, I think we just won't survive. Like
Yes,
it's very hard
exactly.
to
You've
survive.
got to be passionate. You've got to push forward, and
Yeah.
not everything's going to work, is it?
Yeah,
Not every
exactly,
decision is
exactly.
going to be a good business decision, but it's all a journey, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's one of the great things about this industry is it's just constantly evolving. There's always new
Yeah,
treatments, new products, new everything, and I
yeah,
think it has to be the same for your business. You've got to keep
yeah,
growing with the industry as well. Um,
exactly.
so just talking about the Faces app, then obviously you've used Faces for quite some time now in
Oh,
terms
yeah, yeah.
of running your business.
One of my top favorites, to be honest. Like it's
Oh,
honestly.
good. What features of Faces have you found have really helped with running your business and growing?
So the most basic um one I use is the consent forms, of course.
Yeah.
So I used to use all the traditional ones, like, the paper ones. And I remember how I had to run all the time to the library and then print them off. And then if I learned something new, so it was like a challenge to actually make a form, because then you're making sure, are you asking all the relevant
Yeah,
questions?
because you're
Whereas
thinking, will this even stand in like
exactly. I'm like, oh, did I
your
miss this? Did I miss that? But I think Faces has got it covered so well. It has literally template for anything. You don't have to even think, use your brain. Faces does it for you. It's
yeah,
great. And also it's free. Like honestly, like I use like basic editing apps and then I pay for them. Faces
yeah,
has such good stuff, but then it's still free. It's great. I
yeah,
think it's really, really helpful for us.
yeah. Amazing.
And I think the recent one I've started to use is the finance option that's available in
Yes,
there. I
yes,
think it's really good. I didn't even realize it until somebody actually said, like one of my practitioners friends said, she said, I've started to use that. Have you checked it out? I was like, okay, how do I not know this? Because I was actually trying to go through Klarna. And I was like, if I have Faces, why should I use something else? I'm just going to use
exactly.
this.
That's the whole point. The whole
Yeah.
point is you don't need to use anything else. You just
Anything
need
else?
to use
Exactly.
Faces. I
Exactly.
I think also on the finance side of things, kind of going back to what we were saying about, it's sometimes really hard to compete with these practitioners offering like
Yes.
treatments for like 200 quid when it should be like a £500 treatment.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
think the split payment option means the
It's a
client
great help.
can still get the quality. They can still go to a practitioner who is
Yeah.
skilled and who uses more premium products because they
Oh,
can
yes.
then afford to split
Definitely.
the cost. And I think that is also a great way of safeguarding patients as well, because it's giving them
Yeah,
the chance, because not everybody can afford these treatments. They are expensive.
absolutely.
So I think a lot of the time clients will just be kind of lulled in by such cheap prices,
Yeah.
but actually what they really want is to go to a practitioner who they know is gonna
It's
do a
it's gonna
great job.
do a good job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you find when your clients use the pay later finance option, they normally book in for the more expensive treatments and sort of
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. I would say so because I've had somebody come to me and say, "Oh, this is my budget." But then when I tell them this, oh, they're like, "Oh my God, that's great. Oh, I can put my budget up. I can do this as well. I can do that
yeah,
as well." So it's great for them, great for me because I don't really mind like waiting up for a little while. But the great thing is once they are, and then once they are pre-approved, then it's okay. Like the money comes to me, they can take their time to pay up. So
yeah.
it's great. And the thing is, it doesn't affect me. If they pay up, they pay up. If they don't pay up, it's up to them.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's one thing that a lot of practitioners get worried about. It's,
Yeah.
what if my client doesn't pay the repayments?
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
not your problem.
Yeah,
You've got
exactly.
the
That's not your
money.
problem.
Pay
And
later, deal with that. And
yeah,
yeah, it's all good. So I'm so, so pleased
at
that's
least
working for you,
it's a
lovely.
lot of because I've had like to be honest, as I said, I've run my business for 10 years. I know so many of my clients are almost like, friends for me. And then when I started this, they were like, "Oh, can we just pay this later and stuff?" To be honest, most of them do, but sometimes you have to chase them up. I don't want to be doing all that. I
Yeah,
have so many things to take care of. I don't want this to be added to my list, like chasing up my clients that, "Oh,
yeah.
can you please pay?" But then this is great because they can just pay later. It's easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
And you
pay
you
the
are
old
getting
time.
paid and it's secure. I think a lot of practitioners get sucked into that is when you're first starting, it's like, oh, my best friend wants a treatment, I'll just do it for them. And then, chasing the payment and chasing
Oh God.
deposits. And first of all, I think a lot of people are awkward around it. It's not,
Yeah.
even though they owe you money, I feel like sometimes
Oh God. I
asking
think you
someone
feel
for
awkward
money.
asking them money, I know.
Yeah, and even though they owe you, but I think, like you say, if they just do the pay later finance option, you're not going to be in that position where you're chasing money. The
Exactly.
agreement's done, you get paid, they get the treatments,
That's
they're
it.
happy, you're
That's
happy,
it.
everyone's
Yeah.
great.
That's it.
Amazing. So, just with regards to faces in terms of sort of where we're going then. So we are always developing faces based on the feedback we get from you guys as practitioners.
Hmm.
Um, is there anything that you would like to see from us, which we don't currently have, or is there anything that you feel maybe you don't know much about that you'd like to learn more about when it comes to the Faces app and the features?
To be honest, I think you've got everything covered. I've got my prescriber from yourself, to be honest, because when I trained with the academy I trained with, they have they have like a association of prescribers
Yeah.
who would help people who have trained with them, to be honest, and then they charge you a monthly, not a monthly, sorry, a yearly fee. I've
Okay.
signed up with them. They couldn't find me a prescriber, but Faces found me one, and it's free as well, so it's great. And in general, like sometimes if I want to browse product prices as well, face is great because you go to the pharmacy, it tells you all the options.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get like a great price from Faces, but sometimes it tells you like a price comparison as well, like it's
Yeah.
great. So it, like, I think it just helps with everything. um and I saw the new update, so now
Yeah.
you can actually, it's so much easier now because I don't have that problem. I wish I had that problem where you're selecting how many clinics you have. But it's great, to be honest, because I used to actually have more shops, but then over the time I have just realized that if we are not there, then it's just doesn't work the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah. You need someone there all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So now I've just cut down to just the one shop because we used to have about 4 or 5 shops. We used to have in Glasgow as well. But as I said, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But it's great because then you don't have to worry about segregating your clients. You
Yeah.
have this clinic, this client belongs to this clinic, is so much easier, and I
Yeah.
think more manageable as well. I think is great. The new update is
Yeah.
is a great update as
Amazing.
well.
No, that's
So
great
I
feedback.
think you're always thinking about, oh, this is new, this is what's happening, like people are progressing, what should we do? And I think I always see a new update from yourself, because I think even the finance was added quite recently, I
It was
suppose.
about a year ago now, I think.
Yeah,
We
I
got
would say
yeah.
like still, because the thing is, as I said, I never noticed it, and then somebody pointed out to me, and then I was like, okay, how do I not know this? And then when I went on it, I saw, because most probably it must be, I've been using it for a wee while now, but yeah,
Yeah, and
but
I think a lot of the time, you know, there's certain things you click on and that you just don't really notice when things have been added.
oh, yeah, and even
'Cause
I've seen so I don't have a card machine because I think it's just extortionate. So I usually do bank transfers and stuff, but I know there is an option of Faces Pay as well. I
yeah,
haven't gone around to having a wee look, but I will check that as well, because to be honest,
please,
sometimes,
it's so
yeah,
good. It's so
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm sure it is, because to be honest, all your features are great. But I'm gonna have a wee look, because sometimes when I get clients, they don't even know how to log into their online banking.
Yeah,
Sometimes they don't even know how to go onto PayPal, and I
yeah.
don't use a card machine, so it makes it a little bit difficult, because sometimes they're phoning their friends and family trying to transfer money. But I think that will make my life easier.
Yeah, definitely. So if anyone watching doesn't know, we have Faces Pay, which you can access from your dashboard. Means you can take payment straight from your app.
And
So
it's quite easy, because it's just a QR code. It's
yeah, it's a
great.
QR code system, really simple, really, really easy. So I can definitely give you a call to talk through that because it's super easy and you'll be like, oh my God, I'm gonna use it now.
I know.
But thank you so much for your time today, lovely. It's been so good speaking and really, really good, insightful chat about regulation and your thoughts around that as well.
Thank
So we will tag you in all the posts. I'll send you a copy of this when it's been edited as well.
you.
Um,
Lovely. That's
I'll email you to get all of your links and everything and anything else that I'm missing.
perfect.
And then once it's been posted, we'll obviously give you some nice exposure, hopefully get some new clients in for
Oh,
you as
thank you
well.
so much. Thank you. Thank
Um,
you. I really appreciate that.
no, that's fine, lovely. It's been really, really good speaking. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All
You
right,
enjoy the rest
Mamta.
of the day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.